and the son of a member of the House of Lords. That's fucking insane. So there's old money involved. That's scary. The upper half... As far as the Tates are concerned, Candace Owens is a very interesting element in this unfortunate cocktail. You have your boy Andrew, and you have Candace Owens. Candace Owens has basically, she interviewed Tate, and she has gone on record on her show, which she's very popular, by the way. I kind of underestimate how popular she actually is. She really does have a big platform. And even since her split with the Daily Wire, her platform has been growing. And she has decided basically to go out on a limb for the Tate brothers, specifically Andrew Tate. And it seems like there might be some smoke there because, as reputable, esteemed colleague Willie Mackshow has pointed out, Candace Owens basically swept, I guess you could say, for Tate, or just overtly, basically, in a lot of ways, implicated, attacked, and just discredited alleged victims of Tate, and in a lot of ways, falsely, okay? Very, very suspect journalistic integrity from Candace, and I do want to explore the kind of theorizing that's been occurring, which seems, in my opinion, to have a decent amount of coherence to it, with Candace Owens' intentions for this sweeping, okay? So her husband, Candace Owens, named George Farmer, this is him speaking on his close relationship and friendship with Andrew Tate. I've known Andrew for many, many years. I've known Andrew since before Andrew was Andrew, which is a crazy thing to say because, holy dude, it means that he's known Andrew during the periods when he was the most fucking overt about exploiting the women and people around him. But anyway, we'll get into that. If Candace's assistant, based on one interaction with Andrew Tate, could tell he was a pimp, it's safe to say Farmer was well aware of what Tate was up to. Right, yeah, I mean, if he's expressing an intimate awareness and knowledge of Tate growing up. It's also a plausible explanation for why Candace is actively lying on behalf of Tate and covering up his crimes. So here we go.
To Romania with Andrew Tate. Candace interviewed Andrew Tate.
Long time.
I know, it's been a very long time.
You've known Andrew Tate for a number of years. You were just with him for that interview.
Yeah, I've known Andrew for many, many years. I've known Andrew since before Andrew was Andrew. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Let's get specific, bro. That is such a weird way to put it. Before Andrew was Andrew.
I've known Andrew.
What is Andrew?
Andrew since before he was famous, I guess.
Okay.
Andrew is...
So I'm assuming maybe then it's like within the range of 5 to 10 years. That's the vibe it seems like to me. When he says before he was famous, he probably means before he became one of the most Googled men on earth.
Is famous, I guess. Andrew is a great guy. He really is, and he's a wonderful guy in many ways. Like all humans, he's flawed.
As I was having this dinner with my husband.
Like all humans, he is flawed. He's a little bit more flawed than the average human. I think we could certainly, I guess, parse.
His friend, Andrew Tate, was there. I had no idea who he was.
Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. This is Paul Joseph Watson, right? And that's Tate, and that's Candace. Make America Great Again. Oh my, what a combination of characters.
This is kind of before he really took off on the internet. I had my assistant at the time with me, who happened to be Romanian. She's born in Romania, speaks Romanian, happened to have been in the United States. She spent a lot of the time that we were there talking to him. She comes over to me afterwards and she says, this guy, Andrew Tate, I think he's a pimp in Romania.
I used sex as a tool to make women.
Okay, I see. So sorry, that was just Candace basically acknowledging that within her first impressions of Tate, who again was apparently a friend of Candace's eventual husband, that it was clear he was a pimp. That the assistant could tell that he was a pimp. So it wasn't some secret. He wasn't necessarily advertising himself as though he wasn't a pimp. Here we go.
I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house and make me money. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, dude, we love the blatant, overt admissions of his Machiavellian genius. Not at all what that is, but it is overt manipulation. Cynical fucking actor this guy is.
So I was a pimp in that sense.
I said, what? And she's like, no, I think he's like actually a pimp in Romania.
by taking girls who didn't know how to be effective on webcam, girls who had never done webcam before, girls who didn't have the equipment, didn't have the know-how, didn't have the will, didn't have the premises, didn't have the ability to make money with this exchange.
Off camera, I think he'll be the first person to admit that. Like, he's a flawed human being.
Interesting way to put it, man. Because Tate is pretty, like, if you look at his private correspondences, he's definitely not admitting to any of his weaknesses. But anyway, I don't know why this guy's doing so much legwork to
He'll be the first person to admit that. Like, he's a flawed human being.
I created a system that allowed me to convince girls to do this.
Yeah.
Allowed me to retain 100% control of their income. I know how to make sure the girl can't run away.
I know Andrew pretty well, and like, you know, as I said, I know that he's full of flaws.
All right, well, that leads obviously to Willie Mack's coverage, okay? And I want to thank the Milk Bar TV and Gadget, who I've, used the kind of the guide of in unpacking this fucking just brutal rabbit hole with these Tate brothers, man. It really does go deep. It's kind of wild. But yes, here is Murdered by Crayons, another Tate reporter, a reporter on the Tate case. If you're wondering why Candace Owens continues to platform Andrew Tate, attack his trafficking victims, and push misinformation about his case, here's a photo of her husband, George Farmer, with Tate at Tate's house in Romania. They are good friends. Here they are. This is obviously in Candace's, I'm assuming, home. For reasons unknown, the former CEO of Parler, okay, from what I understand, Parler is like a free speech application, or sorry, was, whatever you would, I'm not sure if it's defunct or not, but yeah. It seems like the Candace's husband was the CEO of Parler, and the son of a member of the House of Lords. That's fucking insane. So there's old money involved. That's scary. The upper house of the United Kingdom's Parliament. Tate obviously grew up in the UK as well. Is good friends with a pimp, pornographer, alleged sex rapist, alleged serial rapist, and alleged human trafficker. Farmer is the son of Lord Michael Farmer, the founder of British trading conglomerate Metal and Commodity Company Limited. Lord Farmer is also a member of the House of the Lords, the upper house of the United Kingdom's Parliament. I've known Andrew since before Andrew was Andrew. We just saw that. George Farmer was also accused by another man, Rahim Kassam, of sexual assault. Wow, this guy has a lot of followers. Sorry, I've never seen this. I know more about this world than I care to. Mercer tried to get me to tell Bannon to shut up about populist nationalism. I was the guy who hired Milo at BNN. Farmer has sexually assaulted me. Candace blocked me for calling her sham marriage out. I know this from all angles. I'm talking about Ye, and she didn't say in love. She said personal issues, which is true. I've talked about it many times. I take trying to have me fired 2016 personally, indeed. Also, addict is harsh. I'm a recreational weed smoker like her husband and side piece. Okay, I don't get the purpose of this, to be totally honest. Just saying that the guy smokes weed. She's trying to deflect from her husband's public homosexual assaults on people, but also she's being vague intentionally. Personal feelings equals personal animosity. I'm not sure she wants to be raising the specter of homosexuality given her husband's conduct in public. Nevertheless, I'm not even sure she really is. She talks about personal feelings. I think she's actually referring to personal animosity, but being vague on purpose. No, but I can't see what she is saying. You should ask Candace's husband who the homosexual is. Don't get me wrong, I think it's cringe, and so is that fraud, Candace Owens, who blocked me for telling the truth about her sham marriage. Okay. But on balance, it's funnier to watch these big men reduced to tears in a t-shirt. How are you all just hearing about this? I called her out on her hubby trying to grope me and kiss me multiple times. She blocked me for it. Are you gay, Raheem? Serious question. No, he is gay. I am straight, hence the complaint. Try to keep up. Okay, this is just mudflinging. I guess it's a serious allegation, but yeah. Candace has also known Tate for a while. Understood. Damn, okay. If you want to see the level she's willing to go to in order to protect Tate's image, watch this video. Candace protects the identity of a convicted child predator while naming the victim in an attempt to shame Tate's trafficking victim. This is an insane thing, by the way, for context. Very insane behavior, but effectively, Candace Owens, in her coverage of Tate's case, which she really, really did a lot of legwork to try and protect and to kind of shield Tate from certain realities about his own case. Well, you might not be able to kill an idea. You sure as hell can kill a person. Bad faith. Sounds kind of cool, to be honest. I think I'm going to make that my first merch line.
It's been such a long time coming.
The Tate narrative, which a lot of people jumped on, by the way, and just kind of took for granted. There's people like the Quartering, there's people like Tucker Carlson, there's people like Patrick Bet-David of Valuetainment, and Candace Owens. These people, they lined up and they just listened to what the Tates say uncritically and just kind of prop it up. I don't know exactly why. Maybe they're implicated. Maybe, I don't know. But it's interesting because in the case of Candace, she basically, there's an alleged victim of Andrew Tate, okay? And Andrew Tate's framing of this victim's narrative, okay, is that he basically says this person is a serial liar about making like Me Too allegations, okay, because she's accused like 5 people, and you know, certainly she couldn't have been, you know, Me Too'd by 5 people. And in reality, when you look deeper into it, there's like almost like a circle of guys who clearly were kind of, I guess you could say, unfortunately, kind of trapping or just continually, it seems like, having relationships with this person. And effectively, the way that Candace Tate also basically leans on the whole fact of like, these guys are innocent. These men, these like multiple men that she's accused are innocent. And in reality, one of those men is a convicted child predator. And so Candace, in her coverage, this is very fucking insane and very, very strange. We're going to react to it very shortly. She basically, in her coverage, regularly stated the real name of the alleged victim, and for some reason seemed to censor the name of this convicted child predator, who apparently, you know, this woman, this alleged victim, was claiming had been her victimizer. So we will now take a look.
I'm underage and Fisher is still with her. He knows she's underage right here. I'm surprised Candace is actually reading this.
Yeah, me too. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, this doesn't make sense.
Well, today I'm going to offer you the most thorough accounting of the exact charges.
Crazy, man. I don't understand. She's just overtly just playing into their hands. So
that face the Tate brothers, and my belief of why they are going to beat these charges.
Hi, I'm Nathan from Milk Bar TV. Candace Owens
Mr.
recently
Milk Bar
did an interview with Andrew Tate, self-confessed pimp, who's facing criminal charges of rape and human trafficking. It appears that the blowback from this interview was so severe that she felt she needed to justify why she did it. Pretty much she finds herself defending 5 child predators in an attempt to take down one of Andrew Tate's victims. It's quite shocking and really quite unbelievable. But yeah, let's take a look.
So who is Emma Gabby? First, I'll tell you who she is, according to the Tate brothers, who is suing her in Palm Beach County, Florida.
According to the Tate brothers, we're going to tell you who a human trafficking victim is by the 2 guys who have been charged with human trafficking this victim in Romania. So they're going to tell you who this victim is.
According to them, again, if you want to take their word for it.
We don't want to take their word for it. As we've already seen in previous videos that you've made, Milk Bar, Tate is a compulsive liar.
Emma Gabby is a predator
fact.
who has a long
I'm
history of baiting men into sex.
Oh my God, this is her framing of the damn. Wow, that's insane. No, that is in fact, Tate is absolutely a compulsive liar. Documented, provably.
Or Tate is a compulsive liar.
Emma Gabby is a predator who has a long history of baiting men into sexual relationships for the specific purpose of destroying their lives. She has a chain of victims going back several years to when she was a minor.
Oh, she said it. She was a minor. These are not guys who were 20 years old or 22 years old. These men are all into their mid-30s and above. Keith Fox was 57. Emma was 15. Dustin Milner was 35 years old. Emma was 17. Tyler Hensel was 35 years old.
Oh.
Emma was 17. Marlon Fisher was 34 years old. Emma was just 1 month out of her 16th birthday. She was 17. Joel Friedman was 39 years old. Emma was 17. So what we have here is a group of child predators, guys who are preying on young girls, saying, oh, woe is me, I was set up by this minor.
That's insanity, and Candace is just going to run with it.
That's what we have here. This is essentially Jeffrey Epstein saying, oh, I was having these underage girls come in and give me massages, but I didn't know they were under the age of 18. Silly me. These are guys who were looking for young women. And Emma, she looks very young, as you can see. How can a grown man in his mid-30s or older look at this girl and say, oh yeah, clearly she's overage? The responsibility is the adults to make sure that she's overage. So let's talk about the law in Florida regarding statutory rape and what this actually means. In Florida, anyone over the age of 24 cannot have sex with someone under the age of 18 years old, even if...
Here's what I'll say. I appreciate both Milk Bar, Murder by Crayons, and Gadget. I do think that Willie does have the best coverage of this circumstance. I want to pull up Willie's video real quick.
To help grow her OnlyFans and social media.
Here we go. This is Willie's breakdown, basically, of the circumstance with Candace Owens. Brutal circumstance, by the way. But, yeah.
Very long. I want to turn your attention to Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, who were woefully underprepared for their interviews. They
obviously, shout out Willie Mack. Fucking, these are great videos.
look like fools. I've already heavily criticized Tucker for interviewing Andrew Tate without even knowing what he was charged with.
Well, the fact that you're not accused of a sex crime or violence.
And a week later, just 3 days ago, Tucker would release an interview with Tristan, still not knowing what they were charged with.
To be clear, none of the charges pertain to sex.
No.
Rape.
No.
That's insane.
Selling anyone.
What a fucking... Oh my god, bro. Like, Tucker Carlson, if he ever claims to be a fucking journalist, man, kill him.
No.
Kill that nip at its bud. Nip that at his bud. He is not a journalist.
Slavery, moving people across international borders to pimp them out.
No.
Outside of selling people, it's exactly what they charged them with. What, Tucker leaves Fox and he can't even hire one person to read the indictment for him? It's been available since June.
You do not run a web business now.
No, absolutely not. And also, none of the alleged victims are girls who've ever worked at my streaming company in the past. There's zero.
It's so crazy how people who get paid millions of fucking dollars a year to report on things can't do basic research, or at the very least are unwilling to do basic research, and obviously they are compromised in some capacity, or they have some reason that they're just completely sweeping for these guys. There is some reason. In the case of Candace, maybe it's just the connection with the husband, maybe. I don't know why Carlson, maybe because he's just spineless, but anyway. Let's cut to Candace real quick.
Password to her account, there's a chance she could run away and try it by herself. I've had that happen.
Does it sound like he's just giving them nice advice? They could try and silence all the victims they want, but the most damning testimonies are from themselves. I find this next part particularly funny.
It's okay if you're in a relationship for you to watch pornography. And then I had a huge wake-up call when I spoke to Tim Ballard. You know, he runs Operation Underground, and then I realized how closely pornography is related to human sex trafficking.
Real sex trafficking, not TikTok accounts.
I don't want to go too much more into the interviews because it's just them conflating information that I've already debunked in my past videos. They're trying to confuse you.
If I was a mafia boss and I'd sit here and I'd killed 3 people and we were doing an interview and I was like, yeah, I used to kill people. I've done my time. I'm out of jail now. I get less flack than if I made a video talking about dating when I used to have a business that did webcam than I currently get.
Yeah, just no pushback at all. Fucking hell.
Most disappointed in is Candace Owens, because Tucker can at least claim ignorance. Candace, on the other hand, reads the Tate civil lawsuit where they're trying to silence the victim and chooses to side
I think we have every right to be pretty upset with Tucker himself as well, but anyway.
with the pedophiles.
So who is Emma Gabby? First, I'll tell you who she is, according to the Tate brothers, who is suing her.
Why would anyone take their word for it? They supposedly trafficked her.
Emma Gabby is a predator who has a long history of baiting men into...
Oh my days, Emma Gabby. Dude, sorry. She's stating that the fucking alleged victim's a predator.
...sexual relationships for the specific purpose of destroying their lives. She has a chain of victims going back several years to when she was a minor.
Oh, since she was a minor. Candace is framing the teenage girl as the predator and is siding with 5 pedos, 4 of which knew her age and continued to be with her. What the fuck? This is the Daily Wire. Aren't these people saying we need to protect the children? Look out for
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason Candace did get dropped by the Daily Wire, and I don't think it is actually really. I don't think it's mainly because of this. Okay, I think there was other variables, but this is bad.
Candace, bro, she's siding with pedo drug addicts.
The first case involves a man who I am not going to name, and the only reason I'm not going to name him is because at the time of the allegations against him, Emma was in fact a minor, and that of course is relevant. So we just want to be ethical here.
What? Oh my God, what an airhead.
He's protecting a convicted, locked up predator's privacy while slandering the victim.
Yeah, it's insanity. Don't protect the fucking alleged victim's privacy, but this guy.
We gone insane? She then says she doesn't want people looking up the case.
And not expose his name so that people can look up the case because, as I said, she was underage at the time.
And they don't want you to know his name because if you look this case up, you're going to see that she clearly did not frame him.
This guy's name is Yoga Fox or Keith Fox. He raped 2 underage girls. He was caught on video doing it. She wants to hide this information from you because it makes her look awful.
She's protecting the Tates.
The full video exposing Candace's bias is a masterpiece, and you can find it on Twitter at the Milk Bar TV or at Cran's Murders. You should check it out.
Isn't it interesting that she's accused 7 other men of kidnapping her in her life?
And so Keith Fox, he was convicted. There's no question. There was no false accusation there. Dustin Milner, there was no accusation. Tyler Hensel, there was no accusation. Marlon Fisher, there was an accusation, but to be fair, he would fall under statutory rape. He was 34, she was 17. And Joel Friedman, there was no formal accusation. At best, we have 2 accusations, and one of them was not formal. So I don't know where this whole she accused 7 men came from. That simply does not exist.
But first, fight the Matrix with the Red Pill t-shirt, or the It's Not Politics, It's Common Sense t-shirt. At WillieMacShop.com, all custom art, fresh and fit wear it. Hell, even Andrew Tate wears it every day. Which I don't know how I feel about that anymore. But seriously, these videos take a long time to make, a lot of research.
I'm sorry, I'm a fucking piece of shit. But yes, W. Willie Mac, this was a very good video, and a lot of his Tate coverage is very fucking elite, in my opinion. The big thing with Candace Owens, in my opinion, is the fact that, dude, especially, I've observed this with many of the Daily Wire individuals, but they have a veil of legitimacy, okay? That, and here's the fucked up thing, is that a lot of the times, not always, but a lot of the times, legitimacy, okay? Truth being the, the arbiter of reality, these things are determined largely by aesthetics, not by actual credence, actual concrete, reputation earning, okay? Which this is fucking sad for the record. The big thing that I guess I would highlight is that at the end of the day, Goga has the text to recharge his soul after hearing all of this. Yeah. Willie's such a good writer, I won't lie, he is. But at the end of the day, Candace has very good presentation. She looks like she's just like some kind of correspondent, and she leverages that. She leverages the aesthetics of legitimacy, as many people do, okay, to dupe her viewers, to manage her personal fucking agendas, to run defense for Andrew Tate for God knows what fucking reason. Is it because there's some kind of leverage that Tate has over her husband? Is it because her husband actually does like Tate and they see, I guess, despite the very overt brutality of the case, which Candace claims to have read herself, does she really think that this friendship, or that her husband's friendship with Tate, is that worth basically keeping and securing? We now live in a fucking time, bro, where for whatever reason, this is confusing, but for whatever reason, it seems like the Trump presidency, like the government, I guess, acting government, current government of America, that they're fucking angling to have Romania ease the constraints on Andrew Tate. It sounds insane, but this actually does seem to be the case. We don't have Trump acknowledging Andrew Tate, but we have his office, basically, trying to make it such that the Romanian officials will ease the access that Tate has to other countries. What would Tate do if he got access, the ability to travel to other countries? Yeah, I mean, in reality, he would probably flee. He might even find domicile in the U.S. And so, I don't know what will happen. This reality that we operate in and live in, it's very fucking strange. I am very consistently reminded of that. And for better or for worse, what can you do when you encounter things like this, you know, when you basically, if you were ever a fan of Candace Owens, but there's many people who do these things. What is, in my opinion, the best thing to do? Well, obviously, try and gain many lenses for interpretation, okay? One of the best media literacy strategies, in my opinion, is literally to try and see things from other people's perspectives, right? It's to try and embody, what's the way that it's put, and a lot of times is walk a mile in other people's shoes. Yeah, well, that doesn't mean completely agree with what somebody is saying and just like, oh, I completely am synchronized with them. No, it's just understand where they are coming from and how they got there and how they might get there, right? So in this case, right, you could view the lens of power, right? Like, why is Candace lying? Well, okay, so there's like the weird little power connection that Tate is perceived to be, you know, famous or maybe an asset or whatever. There's the lens of, I don't know, I guess you could say, like, certainly not feminist lens. Candace certainly isn't being a fucking feminist with this one, bro. But yeah, there's the lens of, I guess you could say maybe journalism or whatever the fuck. Okay, I'm kind of bullshitting here. But what I mean is that when you basically take in multiple sources, when you see somebody who's making these grand claims about a court case like Aunt Candace is, and she is, if you even smell a whiff of like, this doesn't make any sense, just looking up any kind of a counter narrative, it might not reveal to you like, oh, they're completely lying or whatever the hell. Maybe it will, but it might not be that. But it will give you a more of a shade of gray. Okay, it'll give you more nuance. It'll give you a deeper understanding and appreciation of the reality, right? That's the argument in favor of collecting these fucking lenses. It is impossible to see reality exactly as it is in most cases. But by collecting various observational lenses, you can make your vision more clear and you can basically see it from multiple dimensions. And yeah, at the end of the day, that's pretty much all I got to say. I do appreciate you guys joining me tonight.